Imagine being torn from everything you love before you even know what love is. Your home, your mother's voice, the smell of your land, gone in a single night. He was sold, traded, passed between hands across 3 continents, Africa, India, and finally a land so foreign it didn't even have a word for someone like him. And then, one day, the most powerful warlord on the planet looked at him and handed him a sword, not as a slave, as a samurai. This is not a movie, this is not a legend, this happened in 1581, and for 400 years almost nobody knew his name. His name was Yasuke. Around 1555, somewhere along the East African coast, a boy was born into a world of red earth and open sky. His name, his tribe, his family, history would steal all of it from him. He was taken, not by enemies, not by war, by strangers who crossed an ocean simply because they could. He ended up in the hands of Alessandro Valignano, the head of Jesuit missionaries spreading across Asia. Valignano needed a bodyguard. He had found something far more than that. But before Japan, there was India, where he joined the Habshi, a legendary caste of African warriors who served as soldiers, generals, and guards for the most powerful rulers in the land. By the time he was a man, he had survived things that would have broken anyone else. He was not ordinary. He had been forged, and the world was about to find out exactly what he was made of. In the year 1579, a Portuguese ship appeared on the horizon off the coast of Japan. On its deck stood a man that this country had never seen before, and never would forget. Nothing could have prepared Japan for this moment. Crowds flooded the streets. Some reached out to touch him, convinced the black of his skin was paint. Nobunaga's own guards tried to scrub it off. It didn't come off, because it was him. Word traveled fast in feudal Japan, and the most dangerous ears in the country heard it. Oda Nobunaga, the warlord who was unifying Japan through sheer, terrifying force, heard about the African man, and he wanted to see him immediately. When Yasuke walked into Azuchi Castle, every samurai in that room gripped their sword, not out of duty, out of shock. No one in that hall had ever seen anything like him, including Nobunaga. Nobunaga didn't just accept him. He gave him a name, Yasuke. He gave him a house, a stipend, and then he did something that no one in Japan had ever done for a foreigner. He gave him a sword. In feudal Japan, a sword was not just a weapon. It was identity. It was rank. It was belonging. It meant, you are no longer a stranger here. You are one of us. For the first time in his life, Yasuke had a home. Nobunaga was fascinated by him. They ate together, talked together. Records say Nobunaga showed him off to visiting lords like a treasure he had discovered. Rumors even spread that Yasuke might be given his own land to rule. An African lord. In 16th century Japan, history was bending. For 1 year, Yasuke walked beside the most feared man in Japan. He carried his weapons. He stood at his door. He ate at his table. In a country built on bloodlines and tradition, an African man stood at the very top. And then, in one night, it ended. June 21st, 1582. Yasuke and Nobunaga were resting at Honnoji Temple in Kyoto. In the dead of night, 13,000 soldiers appeared out of the darkness, led by Akechi Mitsuhide, Nobunaga's own general, his most trusted man, had come to kill him. Nobunaga knew immediately there was no escape, no surrender. He was Oda Nobunaga. He would not be taken alive. He ordered everyone out of the room and faced his end, alone and on his own terms, the way he had always lived. Yasuke could have run. He was a foreigner, a free man. No one would have blamed him. But he didn't run. He drew his sword. He charged into 13,000 soldiers, alone, because that is what a samurai does. Even after Nobunaga fell, Yasuke did not stop. He found Nobunaga's son, Oda Nobunaga, and kept fighting at his side at Nijo Castle until there was simply nothing left to fight with. He gave everything. Twice. When they finally captured him, Akechi Mitsuhide looked at this man, this foreigner who had fought for a dead lord's son against impossible odds, and Akechi made a decision that tells you everything. He did not execute him. He sent him back to the Jesuits. Even your enemy knew. You do not kill a warrior like this. And then, the records stop, just like that. One of the most extraordinary human beings who ever lived simply disappears from history. The last page about Yasuke was written in 1582, and it was written by his enemy. Did he go back to Africa? Did he find a quiet corner of Japan and live out his days in peace? Did he take to the sea and vanish into the world? Nobody knows. And I want you to sit with that for a moment, because a man this extraordinary deserved a better ending than silence. But here is what history could not take from him. His story survived. In 2021, the world learned he would appear in Assassin's Creed Shadows. There are books written about him, shows made about him, children who dress as him on Halloween. He became a legend without even trying. Because legends cannot be buried, not forever. History is full of people like Yasuke, people they decided weren't worth remembering. But we remember. That's what this channel is for. If this story moved you, share it, because someone you know needs to hear his name today. And if you want more forgotten histories that they never taught you in school,